I'm just here to tell you, Pack is back.
That was the journey for me, is because in high school, obviously undersized, was a backup, and I got strength coaches telling me, oh, you're gonna be 6'4", you're gonna be huge, look at my hands, look at my feet, things like that. I'm like, just wait, you'll grow into your body. And I'm like, I'm not believing it. And then start hitting growth spurt, but still was trying to figure it out on the field, things like that. Wasn't this great player. I was a 2-star coming out. And so it's all these things that, my confidence wasn't super high in high school. I was always saying I was good. More than anything, I was a basketball player. I thought I was gonna be a hooper, and that didn't work out. But I'd say my junior, going into my senior year, that's when, started going to some more camps, played 7-on-7 with Ground Zero, got a little bit more looks over there. That's when the offers started rolling, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to college and, get a free education, hopefully become the starting quarterback. But my mindset still wasn't, I'm gonna make it to the NFL. Like, that was a dream, but it wasn't like a reality thinking that could actually happen. So, I went to college, and I think really once I started in college and started seeing myself getting better and better and better and being able to compete with these dudes, so I was looking around and being like, man, these dudes are really good. Like, I wish I could get there. And then, just kept working, and obviously I got there and took over in college, became a starter. And those dreams, I was like, okay, next step's the NFL now. And it's all becoming a little bit more real. So I think my confidence through that, it all just kept growing.
Okay, you seen and you heard that opening dialogue from Jordan Love, where we can finally see that this guy is being media trained. And usually when you start to see that, and of course, this channel, The Pack is Back, is, pretty much driven off of narratives and storylines, and this plays so well into Jordan Love's storyline with the Green Bay Packers. You're starting to see his maturity when he answers these questions, going on these platforms, opposed from how he first started off. It was a little shaky in these press conferences, and him trying to get his thoughts right and out there quicker and answering all of these some questions that are built off of nonsense, and then some questions are pretty good questions where they were challenging on his progression as a quarterback in the league. And now that you have seen the growth from him from his first career season as a Green Bay Packer quarterback, from the beginning of the season till now, you just see such a much more mature guy. Partly that might be from him sitting the 3 years behind Aaron Rodgers and getting a feel for how Aaron Rodgers handles the media and the questions, and how well Aaron was media trained. And you can see that out of Jordan Love. You can just see the growth, which I like. It lets me know that the narrative of Jordan Love is that he's probably going to be one of the premier quarterbacks in the league. And, him just explaining his adversities of coming up in the ranks, being a 2-star recruit, not really getting noticed until he went to the 7-on-7 camps, and, put a buzz out there for himself to propel him through high school and college ball, and now he's a starting first-round draft pick quarterback in the NFL for the Green Bay Packers. So, it says a lot about how the Packers go about their business, by the way that they handle the young players in the organization, especially guys that have a big role at the quarterback position, like Jordan Love.
Draft night is a crazy night in general. Unless you know what team you're going to right off the top, it's, the sitting and waiting and just, seeing guys get taken in that just waiting game, waiting for your phone to ring. So I was there with my family, man, and I was super excited when that phone finally rang. And, I see Green Bay, Wisconsin. I'm like, okay, answer it. Packers. I'm like, oh, here we go. Got drafted. Like, that's what you work for. That's a dream come true and a blessing just to get there. But my mind immediately went to, okay, yeah, Aaron Rodgers is there. Like, I've been watching Aaron my whole life, so just knowing that he's there and that's his team, it's like, okay. Obviously, I'm not coming in and starting right away in this situation. It's going to be a situation where I'm going to come in and learn and develop and be a backup to start and just see what the situation plays out and how it unfolds. But definitely right away knew I wasn't coming in to start.
Of course, Jordan Love knew he wasn't going to be the starter of the Green Bay Packers right after he was drafted. And of course, that was one of the, biggest things on his mind once he found out he was drafted as a first round pick for the Green Bay Packers, walking into a situation unfamiliar to him, not knowing the circumstances at that time with Aaron and the organization, bumping heads, no Diddy. So, which was a huge opportunity for him to play his role, which he did. He didn't come in there, on some Steve Young type shit, with Joe Montana. But Jordan Love respected Aaron, knew of his greatness, understood that he would have to sit behind Aaron for a while so he can get his feet wet. And of course, we heard all of the stories of how he wasn't accurate as a passer in camp, and there was rumors that the Green Bay Packers thought they might have made a bad decision, which we really don't know yet. It's only his first season, so we still have a whole body of work to critique Jordan Love on until we get further down the line in his career. But him coming in as a rookie, he understood the ramifications of him having to learn how to be a professional quarterback, and why not be somebody that can help you prepare for games like Aaron Rodgers, the great Aaron Rodgers, you know what I'm saying? So he fell into a good spot, knowing that playing behind a Hall of Fame quarterback, he can learn some things from, have a cheat code basically by one of the best quarterbacks in NFL history, where he can garner some inspiration and some techniques and some great advice, from a guy like Aaron Rodgers, who's very smart, in the field that he's a pro in, especially at the quarterback position. Who wouldn't want advice from Aaron Rodgers? So good to know that Jordan Love waited his turn and handled it like a true professional.
Most players got to deal with that. I think it's one thing that you're gonna have people gonna have these questions until you get on the field. And obviously, being a backup for 3 years, the questions kept coming in, and not even getting preseason my rookie year, so I definitely didn't see the field at all. So people just didn't really know what I was about. Being drafted to Green Bay, they have Aaron Rodgers. There's a lot that went into my situation. I think it just raised people's antennas a little more. Who is this guy? Can he play? Is he gonna be good? What's the situation gonna look like? So, I dealt with that for 3 years, and it was a lot. It was people coming to me in the locker room like, bro, why are these people asking me about you all off season? I'm like, man, I don't know what to tell you. I'm gonna get out there when I get out there, when I get my opportunity. Yeah. So, it was a lot of dealing with that, man. I think if anything, it was more motivation. Just wanting to prove people wrong. I see everything they're saying. How, this guy can't play. Who is this guy? This guy's trash. And, just knowing that once I get my opportunity, I'm gonna prove people wrong, and I'm gonna show them who I am. And just waiting on that opportunity, knowing that got to control what I can control, and the situation is what it is. And as long as Aaron is there, I'm gonna, keep doing what I can do to get better in the offseason when I get those opportunities and those reps with the starters, and take advantage of preseason when I get those chances in the game, and just trying to make the most of that situation, but knowing that when I get my opportunity, I'm going to take it and run with it.
And that's exactly what Jordan Love did, ladies and gentlemen. He waited for his opportunity to show up, going through all of the stuff behind scenes, or behind the scenes where people are questioning him, what's going on, when are you going to have a chance to play, you know, could really be nerve-wracking on a young player, especially a player that's drafted in the first round of the NFL draft, for such a prestigious and premier team like the Green Bay Packers, with a prestigious premier player at the helm of the quarterback position like Aaron Rodgers. So you know that you're going to get a whole lot of things thrown at you, because everybody don't expect you to live up to the hype of what the previous two quarterbacks for Green Bay has done with Favre and Rodgers. And we've seen a number of guys that stepped in when Aaron was hurt that didn't live up to the hype, you know what I mean? And now that, you know, we have a guy like Jordan Love who's finally gotten a chance to get the opportunity to go out there and showcase his skills and prove to all of the naysayers and doubters that have looked at the way he approaches the game in a negative way, to kind of stand back and say, we didn't see that out of this guy. And now that we have, you know, there's the possibilities are endless with this man. You know, if the Green Bay Packers keep building the right core around his talent and what he can do on the field, as far as winning football games. So once he got his opportunity, he rose to the occasion and basically said, nobody's taking his job from me. And that's what you want to see out of your quarterback, especially for the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, the noise was there, obviously. Like you said, a young receiver core. You know, they're hearing the noise as well. Like, we don't have any weapons. We don't have any vets on the team and the receiver core, things like that. So, you know, our whole team was very motivated to go out and prove people wrong. My first year starting, like, there's just a lot of variables. But, you know, started, you know, opened up with Chicago, played a great game. And then, you know, like you said, kind of after that, we went on a losing streak, not playing as well. You know, I think all those games we lost, though, we were right there. Like, they were very close games where, besides really, you know, our first Lions game, where they're close games where if we just did a couple things different, execute a couple plays, we'd get there and we'd be right over the hump. But I think more than anything, it was just getting reps, being out there on the field. You know, we had a lot of young guys, like I said, to be able to develop and gain experience each game, and being down in a couple of those games and seeing ourselves like, man, we got to find a way to turn this around. Like, defense is balling, offense is a couple plays here and there that we're just not capitalizing on. So I think more than anything, it was just keeping our confidence high and not letting that waver throughout that whole process, knowing that we were going to get over the hump. Like, we're a good team. I knew we were a good team. I knew we had a lot of good weapons. We just got to find ways to play well. And I think the biggest thing was not letting our confidence waver. People in the locker room stayed together. You know, it wasn't a lot of point fingers and complaining, but guys, you know, stuck together and found ways to get better.
Talk to me about Thanksgiving, though.
Yeah, Lions.
Right, like Thanksgiving against the Lions. That was the game. You know, everybody sitting home, we eating, get an opportunity to sit down, and we all knew what the Lions were. Eventually, they go to the NFC Championships, where you guys very well could have been as well. But that was one of those games, man, like everything felt like it clicked. Everything seemed to be on point. Was that sort of the point where you guys realized who you could actually be? And for yourself individually, did it sink in that, okay, I could really do this?
Oh, yeah. I really think every game throughout the season, we were building that confidence and gaining it through each, you know, game we played. But the Lions game, man, I think that was our, you know, first time seeing another team for the second time. Obviously, the first game, didn't go how we planned and didn't play as we wanted. And we knew we were a good team. We knew they were a good team. But I still think, you know, we just didn't come out and play the way we were supposed to. And I think just starting fast that game, you know, got us going and got us in that mindset. Like, all right, we know who we are and we know what we can do to these guys. And we were just executing on all cylinders and just playing, you know, free. You know, not worrying about mistakes. That was a big turning point for me in the season, was just loosen up and not worry about mistakes, not trying to be perfect out there on the field. You know, if you make a bad pass, you miss a throw, miss a read, you know, forget about it, move on to the next play. So that was huge for me and my confidence. But like I said, it was our first time seeing a team for the second time, and Yeah, that was a fun game. That was a fun game.
Oh, yes. The infamous Thanksgiving game last season where the Green Bay Packers started off so fast against at that time I was calling them the 0-16 Lions. I can't call them that anymore. And much as it pains me to say this, but I have to respectfully start calling these guys the Detroit Lions. But that game was the get back game. And you heard it from Jordan Love when he said this was the first time we had to see a team again. And he performed at such a high level, man. Got the turkey leg at the end. Well, they didn't give him the turkey leg, but he won the game. The Green Bay Packers shocked all of these Detroit Lion loyalists out here who had so much high hopes for that team. And of course, yeah, they won the division. Yes, they did. Yeah, they did. They won. And much respect for them for doing that. But the main goal is to win championships. And that's one thing that the Green Bay Packers holds in high regard over the Detroit Lions at this point in time. Who knows, like I said, with the narratives, we know the reason why the Detroit Lions were so good last year or the last 2 seasons is because they have the up and coming draft in Detroit. So, of course, whatever city the draft is going to be in, that team is going to have to perform well. We seen it with the Kansas City Chiefs last year. They went on to win the Super Bowl. So, it was a great turning point for Jordan Love to go out there and beat a team that beat the Chiefs earlier the first game of the season, and to go out there and get our get back after they embarrassed us in Lambeau. We returned the favor and made Thanksgiving not taste so good for the Detroit Lions. All at the expense of Jordan Love putting the bad plays behind him and going out there and showing and proving that he belongs in this league. And that's exactly what he did.
What were those conversations at halftime? Because you guys were 30 minutes away from advancing to the NFC Championship.
Mm-hmm. Man, those conversations were just similar to most other games. Let's go finish that game. That's the mindset. Obviously, we knew what type of team San Fran was, all the weapons they got over there. But yeah, we were right there in that game with them and with a chance to win. And obviously fell short, just a couple of little opportunities. Ended up throwing 2 interceptions in that game. So it's all those little details, like if this doesn't happen, if you execute this play a little bit better, what could have happened? So, we're in that mindset of what could have been, what if we could have made it to the Super Bowl, right. Being the team that everybody doubted coming into the year, being the team that nobody, thought was going to win so-and-so game. So, but like you said, man, coming into the playoffs, man, the expectations were low for us. Yeah. People didn't even think we were going to make it there. But as a team, we knew, like I said before, how good we were. We had a lot of really good pieces, and once we started clicking towards the end of the season, man, we were rolling. So yeah, that was a tough game, but yeah, halftime, those conversations were, let's go finish this game, and we're on the road to the Super Bowl.
And being a second-year starter and knowing that you're playing for an organization that believes now because of their quarterback, now because of their head coach, they can win now.
Yeah, it's a great feeling, man. We're all very hungry for this upcoming year, but like you said, man, the confidence from top to bottom is there. The organization believes that it's the perfect time to have a chance to win a Super Bowl this year. And those conversations we had after that 49ers game were, man, like, work harder, try and find ways to get better, because next year we're going to do it. There's no more we're a young team. There's no more of those what ifs. Like, people know what we're about now, and obviously, we'll have that target on our back. People are going to want to beat us. So you know, we're hungry. I know everybody in that locker room is hungry and ready to get back. And obviously we added some key pieces with Josh Jacobs and Xavier McKinney. So I'm excited. We're going to have some more pieces coming in with the draft, but I'm excited for me to be able to take that next step year 2. For a lot of the receivers we have to, you know, those rookies that we had last year to be able to take that next step in year 2. Because I know just how much experience you gain from having that first offseason to work and grow as a player. And now you know that playbook coming in and you're not trying to learn it. So we're all very excited, but we got a great squad, and yeah,
y'all still kind of the underdogs, though, Joe. Like the Green Bay Packers have been the king of the North.
Yeah.
For as long as we could possibly remember. The Minnesota Vikings 2 years ago have an excellent year. Green Bay is knocked out of the playoffs late by the Detroit Lions. Detroit Lions now win the North. You guys come and play very, very well down the stretch, but I don't know if going into the season, people are going to be looking at y'all and saying, okay, this is the team to beat in the division. What do you feel like you guys have to do to regain that, right? So y'all can get back to when Aaron was telling folks he owned the organization when he was playing against NFC North teams.
Yeah, I mean, you just got to go win it, right? That's obviously, you know, people left, and you know, people said we were, you know, not that team in the NFC anymore, and you know, they weren't worried about us. But you know, I think the only way to get that title back is to go win it, and so you know, that's what we got plans on doing this year.
Well, you seen and you heard that, folks, and that's where we will conclude this video. The rest of the video or the podcast, the Pivot Podcast, was Jordan Love talking about the things that he learned from Aaron Rodgers, and you know, saying that one of the biggest things that he got from Aaron Rodgers was his consistency, and you know, the way Aaron went about preparing for the game, and you know, just seeing him make those special throws that we all fans of all Green Bay Packer fans loved Aaron Rodgers for, was the way he threw the damn football. Then, you know, they asked him an important question about what was his biggest pivot. Of course, he said it was the passing of his father that made him the man that he is today and put him in a position that he's in now, being the starting quarterback for the greatest sports team in American sports history, the Green Bay Packers. But yeah, you guys could check the Pivot Podcast out. I recommend all Packer fans to go and watch that interview so they can get a little bit more knowledge and understanding of who Jordan Love is as a Green Bay Packer quarterback. And to me, he's got the right mindset. And that mindset is going out there and bringing a Lombardi back to where it belongs, in Green Bay. So with that being said, man, remember to like, subscribe, and share, and comment. And yeah, man, the Pack is back.
To tell you, Pack is back.